Can we have a round of applause again? तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. Our next awardee is Mr. Avadesh Pandey. The topic of his PhD is Yoga and Naturopathy. He was the ex-assistant professor of Nizam Institute. Please welcome him on stage. Come on, audience, तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. A huge round of applause for him. Our next awardee is Mr. Azad Kumar Bhati. The topic of his PhD is social work, and he is a leading businessman and a great social worker of Greater Noida. He's also the owner of AB Hospital and has done some tremendous help in upliftment of the poor in UP. Our next awardee is Mr. Chandra Singh. The topic of his PhD is Education, Training and RTI Right. He has received various awards for social services and he has motivated and inspired thousands of people for taking admission under RTE Act 2009. Please welcome him on stage. Give him a huge round of applause, audience. Our next awardee is Mr. Chakit Singhal. The topic of PhD is Socio-Legal Studies, and he is practicing advocate in the activities and position field of arbitration and litigation. And since 2005, he is dealing with civil and criminal cases relating to contracts and injunction.
बहुत ही खुशी की बात है हमारे बीच में चौधरी चरण यूनिवर्सिटी से डॉक्टर सुधा सिंह जी भी आ चुके हैं. आपका वेलकम. प्लीज कम ऑन द स्टेज. डायरेक्टली आ जाइए. अब आपका वेलकम बाद में करेंगे. प्लीज फटाफट मंच पे आ जाइए आप प्रेजेंट करने के लिए प्लीज.
Our next awardee is Miss Devi Dayal Mittal. The topic of PhD is Social Services, and she is associated with dozens of trusts pan Delhi. She is also the trustee of Sri Agrasen International Hospital, Rohini. Agarwal Senior Vice President as well. He is the Agarwal Senior Vice President, Mr. Devi Dayal Mittal. Our next awardee is Mr. Damanjeet Singh. The topic of his PhD is Finance and Management. He is the director of Sri Sukhmani Group of Institutions and having over 12 years of experience in finance field. Mr. Damanjeet Singh, please welcome him on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause, audience? Our next awardee is Mr. Deepak Balutiya. The topic of PhD is Social Work, and he is the Managing Director of Senior Secondary School and B.Ed College and he has also organized several camps to support children from weaker sections, and he is the leading light of Nainital district as well. Please welcome him on stage. Come on, audience, clap your hands. Our next awardee is Mr. Deepak Ranjan. The topic of his PhD is Indian Arts and Culture. He is the former director of Akash Institute and has successfully established many art and cultural organizations. And he is also a partner in BTech Institute. Mr. Deepak Ranjan. Our next awardee is Mr. Govind Agarwal. The topic of his PhD is social work. He has over 25 years of experience in business. Mr. Arihant Jain will collect his award on his behalf. Mr. Arihant Jain, please you are welcome on stage. The award he is accepting is for Govind Agarwal, and he has over 25 years of experience in business in telecommunication, real estate, trading, remittance, and more. Our next awardee is Mr. Ed Charles. The topic of his PhD is public administration. He is the Director of Strategic Alliance Secretary and also the Secretary of Hirudhya Foundation. Please welcome him on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause, audience? Be a little energetic, everyone. Our next awardee is Damanjeet Singh. The topic of PhD is Finance and Management. And they are the chairman of Sri Sukmani Group of Institutions of Delhi and Punjab. Can we have a huge round of applause? Our next awardee is Mr. Mahendra Bansal. The topic of PhD is Social Education and Medical Services. He is welcome on stage and he has done some tremendous work for NGOs all over India. Please welcome him on stage, Mr. Mahendra Bansal.
बैग रखो उधर
बीच में है ना नीरज जी को जाना, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि एक हमारा नीरज जी को हमारे अध्यक्ष जी सम्मान करेंगे। अध्यक्ष जी रामनेश गोदी और टीम डी साहब हमारे नीरज गुप्ता जी को सम्मान करेंगे।
रुक जाओ नीरज जी, 5 मिनट की बात है।
ये मिस न्यूरो मैडम ये सीरियल में चल रहा है, सीरियल है ना, सीरियल में है सबके साथ। एक्चुअली बस इन्होंने जा सिर्फ एक डिश मैंने जोड़ रहा जो नीरज जी जा रहे हैं ना, बस ये हुआ डिश में ये जा रहे हैं बस।
Our next awardee is Miss Rashi Gupta Vermani. She is welcome on stage. The topic of PhD is Occult Science. And she is an astrologer, a tarot card reader, and Vastu consultant for over 10 years. Please welcome her on stage. A huge round of applause, everyone. Please, her husband and son are present with us, and they will receive the award on her behalf. Son and husband, the son and husband of Miss Rashmi Gupta Vermani are welcome on stage to receive her award, please. Our next awardee is Guru Manish Grover. The topic of PhD is Ayurveda and Naturopathy. He is the leading Ayurveda expert of India, and you can see him regularly on TV as well. He is the recipient of many awards from Government of India and international organization of repute. Our next awardee is Miss Meenu Jain. The topic of PhD is Social Services. She has received the Best Teaching Award by R.K. Gupta, the chairman of Technia Group of Institution, September 2013. She has also received the Certificate of Appreciation Annual Day by Ashtavakra Special School, February 2016. Our next awardee is Mr. Narendra Satyagarh. The topic of PhD is Investment Banking, Education and Social Worker. The husband of Miss Meenu Jain is welcome on stage to receive her award on stage, please. Our next awardee is Mr. Narendra Satyagarh. The topic of PhD is Investment Banking, Education and Social Worker. He has been a great social worker who has denoted his body for the welfare of the society. He is the leading CA of Delhi as well. He motivates people for organ donation, which is a great cause. Mr. Narendra Satyagarh. The dinner has been served, so everyone is requested to have dinner. It will start within 15 minutes. Our next awardee is Mr. Pawan Srivastava. The topic of PhD is Music Guru. He is the only singer in India who sung in 50 voices of Indian playback singer. Please give him a huge round of applause, everyone. He is also an actor who has worked internationally, the director of various online reality shows, and also a music director. He also recorded a song sung by the legend Mr. Kumar Sanu. Our next awardee is Mr. Praveen Verma. The topic of PhD is Automobile Interior Design and Modification. He has 3 patents in his name in the field of automobile interior design, and he is also the recipient of many awards and well-known personality in automobile field. Please welcome him on stage, Mr. Praveen Verma. Mr. Deepak Ranjan is taking his award. Our next awardee is Mr. Raj Kumar Jain. The topic of PhD is social worker. He has worked for 13 years with Akhil Agarwal from Melon as National Governor for welfare of members of business community. Please welcome him on stage. He has also helped in removal of prosecution under GST Act except theft.
इसलिए हो गया बताया नहीं फिर आपने तो ये तो सरप्राइज हो गया भयंकर हो रहा चल रही है पार्टी का सीन
Ms. Moitri Mukherjee